In thinking of those things that we need to work on, to cultivate in the year 2023, we might try to be a little more thankful people as we're called to be by the Scriptures. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisney, Illinois, with your thoughts for Wednesday. You know, when the Apostle Paul wrote back to the church at Thessalonica in the New Testament, he mentions several admonitions in the end of that letter for prayer or for rejoicing. And in 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 18, he says, "In everything give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you." Now, since Paul's missionary journeys had not always been pleasant, he's not talking about some sort of pie-in-the-sky lifestyle where we can always smile and be thankful and joyful because of the circumstances. He is actually saying, despite the circumstances. If you notice, he says, in everything, give thanks. It seems like this is a theme for Paul as he wrote to each of his church plants. In Philippians chapter 4 and verse 6, he says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God." It seems like he was encouraging them not to worry, but he always says that our prayers should not just be, give me a rescue, Lord, or take me away from the bad things in life, provide supernaturally when we're struggling. He says, in everything, by prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known unto God. I truly believe Paul is trying to get us to have an attitude of thanksgiving. You know, even if things aren't going our way, let's be thankful to God for what He is doing in our lives. If our prayers don't seem to be answers as we would like for them to, let's still be thankful for the things that God is doing in our lives. This is not just a request from our spiritual father and leader like Paul. He actually says, this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Now, when we realize that all that Christ has done for us, He came down to this earth from heaven. He suffered at the hands of men. He died on the cross. He knows what hardships are like. He knows what they feel like. But Paul says, this is God's will for you to be thankful. And by the way, if we are making this a New Year's resolution, let's also try to realize that being thankful needs to extend beyond what God has done for us. There are undoubtedly people in your circle of family and friends that do things on a regular basis just to bless your life. We don't often seem to notice it or especially thank them for it. When someone opens a door for you, stop and be sure to say thank you. When that clerk at the store or that waitstaff at the restaurant does something extra nice for you, be sure to acknowledge it verbally, right there and right then. Someone said, by the way, the best way to practice being thankful is just to practice being thankful. Let's do that in the days ahead and see if it doesn't change our attitude and make us a more thankful people.